It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 664.
What's happening, guys? What's going on? Happy Sunday, Gronks.
Thank you. I'm feeling pumped up. I left the house this morning.
Yeah. You've been leaving it once a day or not once a day?
Well, once a day, but this whole timing difference has really, in Melbourne, we've just shifted an hour. And I've got to say, first of all, it takes me a long time to understand what that means. Like, okay, so it's getting darker, no, but then it's... so I've worked it out, and it means that right now it's 11 a.m. Yesterday it was midday.
Yeah.
We've gained an hour.
So that means that... Yeah, which is good because when you sort of woke up and it would have been sort of 8, it was 7, so you keep sleeping, you get another hour.
Yeah.
That's unless your kid's sleeping on the ground next to your bed and then gets in early and then starts kicking you. So you can't
lucky that
sleep
hasn't
anyway.
happened with any of us.
Oh, I know. It's very annoying. That can I palm him off to you for a night?
I could babysit. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. No, I'll say I had a dream that I may have wooden spooned, and then Bodie and 97. I've never seen him get so red, and I was like, I've gone too far. This happened last night.
Red with anger, red with embarrassment. Because
embarrassment of just like, oh, Josh, you've gone too far.
God. Yesterday it was the smarting outs, the abuse towards children. It's
not ideal. But
I do feel like there is a bit of tension online. You know, like there is just people having probably more to say than normal. Maybe it's because they're online more than they have been, or that it's the tricky time at the moment.
Where are you reading this?
In general? Oh, I'm just mainly Shameless Facebook's page, but also, among other things, Michelle Laurie having blow-ups and people sort of trolling her, and there's a lot going on. Like,
what are people saying, though?
I think people are just being a little bit more nasty and maybe a bit more opinionated than other times. One thing that sort of got me up in arms is people pushing back on the hype around Tiger King, and then sort of people coming in saying, "Oh, here's an underrated show." It's like it just got me furious because someone was saying this is the most. Have you guys watched this underrated show? Meaning like it should have more attention than it does, and they were referring to Ozarks.
Okay.
And I just wanted to go, fucking mate. It's had 3 seasons. It's not underrated. Yeah. You don't make it past 1 season if it's fucking no good. It's like you got no clue. And then Tiger King, pull your head in. It's one of the...
great.
It's the biggest movement in the world right now in terms of television. And people love pushing back on hype. And
it's so funny you say that. I literally gave Pete Shepherd the nickname yesterday, popular pushback Pete, because he wasn't wanting to watch Tiger King.
Amazing.
And I reckon the only reason he doesn't want to watch it is because everyone says he should watch it.
Yeah, mate, it was the sort of it was Triple J years ago where it was like you wouldn't listen to commercial radio because it's too commercial, and then it was like Triple J was the alternative, and sort of now it's like you hear heaps of shit across the board. I don't know who's copying who, or everything's just becoming more mainstream. Or, I mean, you only are getting sort of... I mean, they have to make money. So, it's this confusing time. But it just sort of got me outraged. I had a bit of outrage this morning reading some of these posts.
Do you think you would normally get annoyed about that stuff?
Nah. It's just because we're all indoors and going mad. And just furious about nothing. It's bizarre. And then I started getting angry about those fuckwits in the hotels that are saying this is worse than jail. It's like, let's send you to the jail, bro, and then see what you think. These people are soft, so soft.
We should have some sort of segment where you just sort of Tommy's pet peeve, Tommy's tantrum.
Oh yeah,
Tommy's Tanty.
And
do you want to do an official Tommy's Tanty now? Here we go. In 3, 2.
If you are still going out and sinking beers in a park or congregating, you're an absolute fuckwit. Just pull your head in. Like, have you not... Like, maybe it's the people who are pushing back on Tiger King. They're also pushing back on the boundaries that the government are putting in place. It's no good and it's not on. All right?
That was really good. Anyway, I liked that.
Thanks, man.
I mean, have more Husey loses it vibes.
Yeah, it did. Or a bit of Alan Jones back in the day. I remember I watched him on the Today Show. I'm Alan Jones, who do a big bit. Hey, I think that we need to try and escape a little bit of the grind. We're trying to do this with all the puzzles and the bullshit that, we're doing at home. The puzzle, by the way, annoyingly, very hard to pack up a puzzle without starting from scratch.
Oh, no, there's a lot of people do it inside of the box. And then the box just, you can sort of...
Ours didn't come in a box, it came in a tube. And so what we ended up... we did half it and then Brie was put it all back. I was like, hang on, how do we know where we sort of...
Oh, no.
And so, I think that the theory is that we're not doing that puzzle anymore, which is fine.
I think the puzzle's done. It looked complicated, dude.
It was an annoying
really
puzzle.
Complicated.
I want a map because then I can... What was that, Sebs?
What was it of?
It was of a woman and a plant on a chair.
Okay. Sounds really boring.
Yeah, so I wanted to do some form of a map would be cool because then you could be like, oh, look, this is the little Fitzroy piece or things like that. But I think it's important that we can... what would you say? Like disconnect from reality. And I thought one way that we could do this is by looking back at a time when we used to be able to travel. And so, Sevs, what I've done is I went through to 2016 to my my blog, and I went through the archive, and I've put one blog post. It was I'll give you the exact date, but I've just slacked it to you, Sevs, because I want you to read it out. This was June 5, 2016. And I thought we could do a segment where Sevs reads out, because you haven't done a huge amount of travelling yet, Sevs, you can almost live the travel through my words. And we know you're a great reader. And so, and I actually haven't read it yet. I don't know what it is, but I thought I was a pretty good writer at the time. So just go straight into it.
Just lay the scene, where in the world and what date it is again, sorry?
So it was a stop in Queenstown, Tasmania, June 5, 2016.
This is categorised under regular notes, big and small, by Josh Janssen. A stop in Queenstown, Tasmania. On our way to Cradle Mountain, Queenstown offered our first sight of civilization since we left St. Clair Lake National Park. Queenstown stuck in our mind from the night before, when a Tasmanian farmer Nick, who we'd had dinner with at Pump House Point, gave us recommendations on the best way to drive on our final 3 days in the state. His certainty around how long each section of the road trip would take was backed with enthusiasm and pride, the hallmark of a dad who knew the roads well and never once considered the use of Google Maps. He was quick to tell us where not to bother visiting. Stanley is overrated, he said, followed by the checklist.
Not true, by the way, but go on.
followed by a checklist of 3 other places that had lost its way to mining or that had just gotten tired. Queenstown wasn't on the blacklist. In fact, it received his full endorsement to visit on our journey to Cradle Mountain. From a distance, on the winding... Oh, sorry, Jesus.
Wait, let's just stop for a sec. What I'm finding is that I'm not actually taking in anything you're saying, and I think it's just the way that you're reading. Can you just... Can
I have a go? Can you link me?
Can I just say this formatting is an absolute nightmare?
Well, I don't think it's formatted. Okay, here we go. What I'll do, I'm just going to send it to both of you because that was not good.
But he hasn't. I mean, Sev's on the radio. Imagine if he was having to read out news bulletins and stuff.
Okay. So you just scroll down. So I've just sent you guys a link. You've just got to go scroll down until you see a stop in Queenstown, Tasmania. And so yes, Sevs, I just wanted to stop you because I felt like it didn't seem very interesting, but I think it was based on how you were speaking.
In all honesty, I actually think it's your blog post.
I think you're wrong.
How many can we get the Google Analytics on this? How many people have read this?
I have no idea. But I remember getting a lot of props being like, Josh, I love your writing. I want to go to Tasmania now. Yes.
Can we just stop and ask who's it for and what's it for? Because it was sounding like you were some Stephen King author, just really kind of outlining it. Like the way it was like who you're writing it to. It seemed very sort of unlike
Posy.
how you speak. Yeah, it was almost trying to be poetic,
Well,
which
you
I
know
don't
I'm
mind.
a poser.
And so, what do you and like? It
So who
sounds
was
like
it for?
you're an
It was
old
just
man.
I just because it sort of plays into. This was the time where I'm like, you know what? I want to live on the nut in Stanley. I want to have my typewriter.
Stanley's
I wanna be writing,
overrated.
apparently. But and so I also used to do this, like going back 2011 when I was in Thailand. I did it every single night, and I got addicted to it. So I'd stay up until 1 a.m. writing these blog posts about what we did. And so we will get there through the course of the isolation, but I thought we'd start here. I'm worried that it's not going to go any further based on 97 just completely fucking it.
Well, I think there's like writing that reads really well when spoken, and writing that might not necessarily read well when it's spoken.
And so do you want to
could've halved
can you
this blog
see
post.
it? TJ, can you see
I
the
can
blog
see it.
post now? Okay. And so
Yeah, I
where
can
did
see
you
it.
get to, Sebs? I didn't even take
From
that
a
in.
distance. From a distance is where
Oh,
I came
yeah.
to.
From
on
a
the
distance.
winding, icy roads.
Yeah, it looked promising. A bunch of houses, even a main street with shops. It was a contrast to the wilderness we'd come from, and a great opportunity to grab a bite to eat and to stretch our legs. Parking in these smaller towns can feel strange. There's no parking signs, and we're constantly doing double takes to make sure we're not in restricted parking spots. I guess having the prime parking spot only 2 metres from the local IGA is like hitting the jackpot in Melbourne.
Is Amy cooking bacon,
Queenstown's-
by the way?
Yeah, there's onion being cooked in the
Okay,
background.
that's right. That's good.
It's really adding to how I'm sort of, reading this. In Queenstown's main street, there are only around half a dozen cars parked along 200 metres of street. There's no opportunity to be a niche shop in Queenstown. God, there's business advice right now. From my observation, each shop was a general store made up of products that had been accumulated over many years of operation. The pie shop, for instance, was a Frankenstein of a Video Easy rental store from 1995 and a local footy club canteen. I like that. It had been a while since I'd seen the cost of a DVD rentals. $7 for a 7-day rental. God, that is expensive. What year was this? 2016?
This was 2016, yeah.
Oh my God, apparently. At that point, surely you own the DVD. Good point, Josh. The glass fridges at the back of the store had a hodgepodge of chocolate bars. 1 box of Crunchies and half a box of Turkish Delights, which I'd argue shouldn't be in the fridge in the first place, and a surefire way to break a tooth. Mate, can I just say, I hate chocolate in the fridge. This is not
it's
what
dumb.
you've written.
It's not recommended.
Can we get some comments in the YouTube live feed? Chocolate in the fridge, yay or nay? Anyway, back to it. It seemed even more unnecessary, given the temperature at the time was just above 0 degrees. My guess is that the chocolate bars were placed in the fridge on a hot day 4 or 5 summers ago, and they've just never been moved since. Anyway, do you want me to go on?
Yeah.
We're nearly there. I've got 3 paragraphs left. As we looked at the options of pies and sausage rolls, there were a surprisingly large amount of hot food options. Food that I hadn't seen since Year 7. At the end of Year 7, I spearheaded a healthy food campaign for the Student Representative Council, which saw all fried food removed from the canteen menu. A bit rich coming from a kid who had a hot dog for lunch every day, but I digress. Fried chicken, wedges, every type of pie. This place had it all, along with enough cookies and cakes to just about feed the whole state of Tasmania for 4 or 5 years. That's not well written. As I began to order for 4 or 5 years.
You obviously didn't read this out after you wrote it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
what I was
the
saying about-
hallmark of good writing. If you're good at writing, you should be able to
Or
read
just
it out.
quickly, Ryan Spencer's going hard that I need to edit. Mate, you need to edit your comments. Your comments take up half the feed normally. So anyway, get an editor on
All right,
your
let me
stuff, Ryan.
All right, 2 more paragraphs and then we're done. As I begin to order our lunch, Bree quickly changed her order from a pie to a sausage roll. Unsure with what just happened, I panicked and did the same. Bree later told me in the car that she saw the lady microwave one of the pies. And you know the rules. Soggy sausage roll trumps soggy pie. Is that the rule?
Yeah. That's pretty funny too.
You're just talking shit at this point. After we devoured our sausage rolls, we were less about giving us energy, and more about defrosting our insides. We walked along the main street looking at properties for sale in the real estate windows. Mate, I've done that so many times in little small towns. Curious as to what it'd cost to buy a piece of paradise in a pretty weird little town. Definitely poser writing, because it doesn't reflect you as a person whatsoever. Like, I want to read what I like about Barefoot and his simplistic writing is it's actually how he just talks in real life. I love you talking on the podcast. It's so raw and sort of just off the cuff, and I don't see that writing as being like that is a persona, right? You've formed some kind of like, you know, on Stephen King on writing, just read it and, you know, applying a persona or had a hat on. It's interesting, but it's not like you would never get a sense that was Josh Janssen, other than that there was a lot of food chat.
Yeah, there was a lot of food chat, wasn't there?
a lot of food chat.
Were you writing one of these a day?
I started.
I'm just looking at the publishing date, and there's Josh's official road trip driving writer.
Yeah, so let's not blow our load too early. We've got to sort of do us for the whole ISO. But yeah, there's a lot of, and this is just one of my blogs. I can go back. Sevs, did you ever have a blog?
No.
How would I find a blog? Like I had a blog that was like about fitness stuff.
Glyn says not smutty enough for Josh. It's a different time, Glyn.
Is there a way, Josh, like tommyjackett.com.au/blog? Can you see if like somehow on a Wayback?
Yeah, so if you go on the Wayback Machine, I'll do a bit of investigating today and see if I can find anything.
I definitely had one, but I don't know where.
Do you reckon it's definitely tommyjackett.com/blog?
.com.au because it was that. I let it lapse. I can't find it. I actually kept a bunch of them as well. Like I kept a bunch of them
find it
on my computer, and so I could probably find them. Like this is probably 2010, where I was trying, or 2012 almost.
Right, yeah.
There was one of a fitness blog as well. Like I was, it was
Oh man, I've got so much bad writing, like just stuff where I remember when I quit one of my jobs, and I wrote this piece. It was called No Plan B. And I was going to put it on LinkedIn. I sent it to my mate who was an HR director. He said, absolutely not. You look pathetic.
Can we please read that?
I have to find it.
No plan B.
No plan B.
It's quite relevant to now because people are rolling out some plan that, some plan Z or Z. Whichever you like.
Last night I decided that I'm not going to need frequent flyer points.
Absolutely not. Mate, okay, get this. I think in Melbourne CBD, there's like an arm of maybe Flight Centre that is, or one of those, airline booking agents that is dedicated to corporates and corporate travel, which makes up a huge percentage of their business. They've completely shut down that office and they're selling the office with all of the furniture inside. Like that's how pear-shaped it's gone. Oh, it's absolutely fucked. Like their whole business model has completely collapsed, and it's, airlines won't be the same. Like they can't be. How?
Well, the thing is that if you think how many points I'd been, like I was obsessed with the whole process, and so my rule was never use points for anything outside of upgrades. Like if you're buying,
actually on the show you cracked it because Amy bought a
toaster.
I think a toaster on.
Don't buy a toaster, points. But now buy a toaster. But interestingly, so I've got about 150,000 velocity points, and so it can get you probably. I was doing the maths, and you can get around $600 in vouchers with that through like JB. Annoyingly, because of everything that's happened, they've now reduced vouchers so you can only get one a day.
Really?
Oh,
and so they know that people are cashing in because we earned the points. The points took a lot to get, and so I did some convincing last night. I said, hey, Bree, I know that we spoke about the PlayStation. I know it's not really something we need. But if I use points, can I get the PlayStation? And
how
she
many
said,
points? How many points is a PlayStation?
Well, it would be. I would be using JB vouchers. So say I'd use all my 130,000 points, cash it out. I think you can get a PlayStation for around $450 for the PlayStation 4 Slim, and then I would have a little bit of money left over to be able to get an extra controller so we can both play together.
Just cutie.
I do just want to say the PS5 is being released this year.
I can't wait.
Ooh.
It's going to take too long. I went on their website. They're just like trickling out information. And to be clear, I've never been a gamer, and it was the famous situation of 2006 when I bought an Xbox 360 based on my brother's recommendation. I did all this editing work to save up enough to get enough money. I used to get paid every minute that I edited. And so I edited these really long interviews without editing them down really. And so I got enough money to go get the Xbox 360, but then ended up selling it 6 months later to my brother for half the price.
Yeah.
And I never used it. It was a nightmare.
I mean,
and so,
your brother's the real winner out of that.
And so I understand
Xboxes were whack. I didn't get around them at all. Mm-hmm. Microsoft? Did Microsoft make Xbox?
Microsoft.
And so I was saying to Sevs, so the first iteration, because it's going to take 14 days to get anything from this Velocity, Virgin thing. I don't even think it's going to happen. I was thinking, here's a compromise. Let's just use the streaming PC that we're using for all of this to run games. And so I'm trying to decide what PC game I should buy.
I mean, you messaged me and you said, can you buy a PC?
Yes, I did. So we can game together.
You could game on
As in me,
can you not game on...
Why do I want to buy a PC?
$6,000 Mac. Can you not game on the $6,000 Mac?
Could you get Steam?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, would you? Because I said to Sebs, hey, will you start gaming with me? And he said, oh, let's not open that up. What does that mean?
Well, I feel like it's a little bit of a rabbit hole that we could spend hours and hours and hours playing.
Well, so
like, yeah. Well, I don't know how. I mean, I guess it comes back to that whole wanting to feel productive thing. But like,
when are you gaming too? In business hours?
We could well, spend so many hours.
We got the show at 11.
I mean, you're working out my schedule. Where's it going to fit?
No, I think it was
45-minute lunch break.
He knows exactly that it doesn't fit. But also, I give James fucking 3 goes before he's bored. Absolutely bored of it. I think
I just love the idea. There's something comfy about having fully charged controllers and just knowing that you can play wirelessly on the couch, on the comfy couch.
Sevs, can you tell us about your young entrepreneurial spirit that sort of ensued when you were how old? 12, 13?
Yeah. Oh, it would have been around 12, I think.
He was a young Zuckerberg in the Minecraft space.
Yeah. And what happened? Tell us about it. And how much cash did you make?
Well, I mean, so there were. I used to play heaps and heaps of hours on Minecraft with the Coconut crew, and it was always on this US-based server called Hypixel, and they had a bunch of like games that you could play. And so there wasn't really an Australian server, and so I pretty much copied exactly what they were doing, and just hosted it in Australia instead. And it's great because you didn't like you're installing like plugins and stuff, and so everything's pre-built. You just have to spend a little bit of time configuring it all, and the way that you make money off it, so you pay like, I don't know, like $20 a month to host a little server, and they, like, people who come on and play, they donate money for stuff in game, so they get in-game rewards. So you can end up, you know, you have like a $20 plan, a $50 plan, a $200
and you're getting that
plan.
Cash.
Yeah.
How did you even have a bank account? What was the deal? Like ABM? What were you running?
No,
Okay, so
definitely not.
It was an offshore TIFF
Oh,
job.
absolutely.
Tiff job.
Yeah. Oh,
Hashtag TIFF
100%.
job.
Well, the thing is, so I just had PayPal set up to this like payment gateway portal thing, and so people would check out, and everything would happen automatically, so you don't have to be on top of it all. And it got to the point where there was enough money in PayPal to warrant them wanting an ID check, and I signed up because you have to sign up for PayPal. You can't be under the age of 13 or whatever, or maybe it's like 15 or something. So I just put in a fake date of birth and everything, and so it was an absolute nightmare. And they just held onto the cash until I hit the legal age of 18.
Oh wow! And so how long was that in there? So
Well,
7
I mean,
years.
well, the good thing was
6 years.
that I could. There were like I ended up like upgrading the server and all that sort of stuff. So you end up like paying the cash out. But yeah, at the end of it, there was probably like 8 or 10 grand just sitting there in PayPal, and just
So you couldn't
until
pull
I
it
could
out,
access
but
it.
you could use it, or you could
Yeah.
use it within PayPal. Okay, so they just don't
Yeah,
want you
yeah.
to pull the cash out. Far out. So
Yeah.
how much in total do you reckon you made over the time of running a server as a 12-year-old? And did you have pubes then or not?
Oh,
But you had
on the
cash.
pubes thing, did you hear?
No,
Bree
hang on.
asked me
Just
last.
hang on. Just
Okay,
how much?
okay,
How
right,
much?
right. We said 8 or 10 grand.
No,
Yeah.
that was at the
Yeah.
end of it.
Well, that's the
Yeah, so
profit,
if-
right?
No,
Yeah.
but at the so just the net total
want
of
gross?
money.
You want-
Gross.
do you
the
want
gross total.
gross or revenue?
Well, so you
I
got
want the
gross and then you
the-
got net. You want
I mean,
gross.
yeah.
How much money went through the account?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
definitely didn't have any accounting software, but it probably would have been up at like 13 or 14 grand.
Mate, that's solid.
It's
How
great
many
because kids with their parents' credit cards. Absolute nightmare. Just
You're an absolute scumbag, and I love it.
Yeah.
That's why you're with us.
What
and
would
you had like moderators and stuff, but definitely like they're all volunteers. Like you're just definitely not paying them.
A complete racket that Sevs was running. Unbelievable.
No,
Anyway,
I
back to your
appreciate
pube
it.
content.
No, so
Josh.
the question: would you prefer having pubes as fingers or fingers as pubes?
Do you know how many fingers I would have?
So what would you? I said that I'd prefer pubes as fingers, and Bree thought that was
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't want little
Well,
fucking
because you
fingers.
can't use your hands. Yeah.
You're
Oh, there's just something so gross about washing your fingers, just like making sure that it's just revolting.
Do you still have your fingers if you chose to have fingers as pubes?
Fingers as no.
Do you still have
you've-
your fingers like?
No, because they're pubes. It's just hair.
God, it's a brush.
Yeah.
It's a brush.
No,
That's so
definitely
disgusting.
pubes as fingers. Absolutely. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No. The other way around.
Yeah. I get
Fingers on
as-
your pubes. Yeah.
Fingers as pubes.
Yeah. That.
Okay. Well, there's my bit of
Oh,
smart
man.
content today.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
I'm just
God.
ticking
And there's
it off.
the other one. Would you rather fight? What is the one that Sam
The
Harris?
little elephant
Oh,
one?
Sam Harris.
Yeah. Would you rather fight
A
10
giant, it's miniature horse, or was it 10 miniature horses or a giant duck?
No, yeah, it was a duck,
Wow.
and it was like a horse-sized duck, or
Oh, that's
fight
10
15
duck-sized horses. Yeah.
duck-sized horses.
Oh, that's right. Jesse says, could the fingers move around freely? Yeah, I could imagine that
yeah.
it
I mean,
would
just
just be
hair. Oh, downstairs. Oh, yeah.
You could get to work down there. You could be,
Are you
a real
controlling
niche operator.
Yeah, well, we don't know the specifics.
Niche operator.
But it's funny that the hypotheticals really fuck with me. Like, it actually gets
Oh
me a
my
bit.
god!
It's a bit distressing.
What's another one? Can we pull up a few hypotheticals?
Oh, yeah,
It's
Seb?
always fun to play along at home. Hypotheticals. It's like the.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right.
Oh, these are all so boring. What do you wish grew on trees?
All right.
Cash.
Oh, here you go.
Cash,
If your
yeah.
sheets had to be made of deli meats, what meat would you make them of?
Hungarian salami.
Oh yeah.
So
but not
you'd
hot,
sleep in
because-
Hungarian salami. Oh yeah, that'd hurt.
Wait,
What
but
about
would
the
my
happy
pubes
face?
be fingers or let's not mix them.
I would go.
You're going to go prosciutto. You're so predictable.
I was about to say prosciutto.
Yeah, it makes sense from a sheet.
It's quite dry. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's like a
And
summery sheet.
Yeah, it's a summer. For winter, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you want that Strasbourg.
Yeah.
With the happy faces on it.
Yeah. Sam's, what else?
Happy face, mate.
If you had a tail, what tail would you want, and what would you use it for?
If we had a tail.
These aren't.
Yeah.
If I had a tail.
This isn't a would you rather. We want would you rathers, really.
Would you rather?
Oh, well, okay.
Sorry. But so to answer the question, do I want a tail? No. What would I do with it? I don't want one.
Oh God, some of them are really dark. The would you rather's. The things I'm thinking of are way too dark.
Did you mention one?
Oh, I mean, I love what would you rather? Quite insensitive to some if they've lost their arm. Would you rather lose an arm or a leg? Which one? I've thought about this many times.
Oh, what about the listen? Would you lose hearing or eyesight?
Oh God.
It's so hard to know because we've never experienced it. But Hamish and Andy did the that experiment where they covered one of them had no hearing and one of them had no sight, and they had to help each other. And it was Andy actually was having like panic attacks. It was on Rove
he
back
covered
in the day.
he was his vision, right? Andy lost his vision.
I can't remember.
I mean, I heard Sam Harris was talking about his psychedelic experience. Took some mushrooms and he blindfolded himself. Took the mushrooms and then blindfolded himself.
And how did he feel?
It's meant to be. Oh, it's
at his wedding. Did you say at his wedding?
No.
Sorry, I've gotten confused because Jesse's just said, "Would you rather have raging diarrhea at a music festival or at your wedding?"
Oh,
Definitely
I mean,
music festival.
and you had to choose. Yeah. I mean, everyone's just off
themselves.
Everyone's doing
shitting
that. That is music festivals, isn't it? That's what it's.
Yeah. God, what else is there? Any others on the
Sebs,
YouTube?
What do you got?
I mean, they're all a bit boring. Would you rather invent a new gadget or discover a new species?
Gadget.
Oh, no. I mean, this is where we don't have clarity on the species, because what if it was just some dinosaur?
Shit species,
Yeah, it was or it's just some sort of little mite.
Or what about if it's
Would
a
you
really
rather have
dumb gadget?
Yeah, true. Would you rather have the legs of a frog or the head of a fly?
Okay, hang on. Legs of a frog, definitely legs as a frog.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Just think about how
strong.
you could hop around hard. Like you could get places real quick just by hopping. That's a good one. I like that. And
so
still, then you
Grind Heaps says, "Would you sell your Xbox to a friend at market value or mates rates?" It's not really a would you rather, but this is just
based on you paying through your points, because it technically is like you're not feeling the hit to your pocket based on it just being your points that you can't use anymore. Yeah, what would you do? I think you'd sell it at a discount.
Yeah,
you're not one to sell shit.
No. I don't think I've ever sold anything at what it's probably worth. I just can't be fucked with the hassle.
Yeah, I love it.
Anything else?
This is great. Would you rather have a small rock in your shoe or always have mud in your shoes? Which one would you?
You have a rock in your shoe once, or you have mud in your shoes forever?
No. Or always have a rock in your shoe, or always have mud in your shoe.
I think mud.
Well, it depends how big the rock is, doesn't it?
This is where people just really sort of.
Would you rather have a unibrow or a full back of hair?
Well, I don't have.
Mate, I've potentially got both. It's just only if I pluck it. The hairs,
do you have
the
to
back
pluck your eyebrows?
There. Definitely, I get some serious. I reckon it could grow. Like it would take years, but I reckon it would grow to like a full connection. It'd be.
I didn't realize how hairy my back was until I took a photo of my back after using the Shakti mat. I was like, oh, this will be fun.
Ready to send to me?
Yeah, I was going to send it. I was like, oh, it's just, I couldn't see any back. It was just hair. I was like, what the fuck has happened? There wasn't this.
One way to look at it is, this is what Bree has to deal with every day. Because it's like,
you know,
look forward and forget because you don't see behind you.
Do you know they say...
Do
Do you reckon that you view yourself, like if you catch a side profile of yourself, do you think that you're more attractive than what you thought, or less?
Depends on what side profile it is. Like, it depends if you're getting up and you've just...
Like, do you think you have a good... Like, do you think you have a good sense of how you look?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm always looking at myself in the on the screen and yeah, I think I've what is it? I think yeah. I haven't sort of shied away from taking in what I look like, but yeah, the side profile's not my favourite. But it's like being obsessed with your pimples that you've got, and like it's all consuming as a teen, like thinking about your appearance, and then when I was a stripper, thinking about that and going to the gym and all of that. Like, if anything, I don't think like I used to when I was amongst all of that. Like, it's not like I'm proud of my body now. And that's one thing about going to the gym hard and training a lot, is like, makes you mentally... It made me mentally more satisfied with my body than anything. Like, whether it was true or not, it's just like I felt better about myself. But then it's it can go a bit too far, where you just like think too much about it and you're checking in too much. You're looking at yourself. Have you got abs? No, keep training. Like, it's destructive to that degree. I've said before, when I train more, I become more sort of more consumed with how I look than when I don't, because then you're just like, you're shutting it out almost. Like, yeah, okay,
a lot of comments about our looks. Ryan Spencer says Tommy is handsome, so is Josh. I'll admit it, lol, which I don't know if that actually counts. And then Butterbean, also known as Charlie, says Tommy is absolute eye candy. Not too sure about Josh though. ...
We thought that was my best mate Jimmy, and then we thought it was his brother Charlie. I called Jimmy and I said to him, I just flat out, first thing I said, "Are you Butterbean?" And I know him too well. It's not him, and he doesn't think it's his bro. So we don't know who Butterbean is. But I did think Sevs looks quite good today. I thought he was looking attractive.
Yeah, he's
kind of
like
a bit jock
on
looking,
his head.
Don't you reckon? A bit jock looking?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought it looks like a bro that's about to do a marathon.
Yeah, got that Nike tick up front and centre, like just peacocking with a Nike. Like, look at it, it's in frame. How's that still in frame?
Yeah, there you go. It's his pecs. That's all the... he looks like he's...
raised so high.
Yeah, definitely he looks like he does athletics. Something,
Yeah, right. He's about to hit the lacrosse track after a quick gym session.
Oh, yes, lacrosse,
hours.
yeah. He looks like he's mates with Colin and Samir, That's Sebs, what's your favourite feature of yourself?
My favourite feature...
I thought we lost audio connection, but it's just Sebs.
No, I'm just thinking.
Just taking a sweet
I think I like my smile.
He's got good teeth. Hey, look at him.
I guess if you're going physical, then like on the topic of like all the gym stuff, then it's probably like chest.
Good. I'm glad I asked.
Good.
Nice one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll get Grace's feedback later.
Yeah.
Love it. 97's best feature, the red flush look, says Jordan Michaelides. Larry Legit says personality. And then Ryan says, did Sevs
I don't think that's for
just do his best version of his Ahigo face? I don't know what that is.
Can you look that up? Just so we
don't know what Ahigo is either.
Is it some kind of gaming character? Ahigo? Oh yeah, it's like an anime.
Oh,
Ahigo is a term
Japanese
pornography for an exaggerated facial expression of characters during sex, typically with rolling crossed eyes. There it is.
Bit of Ahigo. Thanks everyone. Any final admin? Have we got anything?
Yeah, we got a review from Little Baruka. This show is amazing. I came across it a few months ago and find it incredibly entertaining. I listen to it on my daily walks and I'm loving the show twice a day. Keep it coming, guys. 5 stars.
Grace says
Well
he
read.
does have a great smile.
Yeah, he does. That's about it.
Right? It's a Daily
That's
Talk
about
Show. You can send us emails, hi@thedailytalkshow.com. Always love when we hear from you. Also, if you want to join in, you can go to thedailytalkshow.com/live. And then if you click on the video when we're live, it will bring up the chat so you can talk within YouTube as well. Definitely recommend turning on the bell so you get told when we're live, so then there's no guessing games.
Yep.
Also, thank you for those people who are continuing to listen to us on the podcast apps too, because we know there's a bunch of you there who aren't streaming, the majority. And we appreciate you guys being on the journey as we do twice a day, Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sundays. For the weekend banter, Sevs, I don't know what we've got in the schedule at the moment on live. I think I need to update it. But when do we want to do... when works for all of us?
You actually... maybe it's just gone off automatically.
Mm-hmm. TJ, when works for you to do weekends?
I think the weekend stuff is... flexibility is kind of nice when we can. It's your internet was shitting itself yesterday. Gave you some time to work on that. Big hungover for definitely. Here's what I will say: just a little bit later in the day after Friday night drinks. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, maybe we could do...
Sunday's pretty fresh.
What about if we do on Saturdays before the show? I do my hour dance beforehand.
I did do a workout at 10 with Bodie one of these days, and then did the show at 11. Sweaty dude. It's like you feel a bit like, because you just gone from an hour sitting down, and then it's not nice. It's not nice. I'm just saying for your feeling it.
What time are you having showers at the moment?
I haven't had a shower in weeks. No. Have I had one today? No, I haven't had one today. I had one last night.
What about you, Sebs?
Got up
when are
early.
you having a shower?
Yeah.
Pretty much as soon as I get up.
You have two times a day, though, morning and night.
Yeah, I do. I have, yeah. Because if you work out if you work out during the day, you can't go to bed all like sticky and stuff.
No, I agree, but then you could also drop the morning shower if you know you're going to work out. Because why are you doing that? Like, why if you've had a shower the previous night, you should be clean in the morning. You haven't got real dirty during the night that would warrant a shower and then go exercise and then shower again. Seriously, think about South Africa. They got a water problem. Australia.
Oh, well, we don't.
I think we do, don't we, maybe?
How's that privilege?
Yeah.
Just
what body wash do you use, Sebs?
We just have a bloke.
We have a bloke that does it for me. His name's Darren. He just, whatever he squirts into my hand, Darren. I just use.
Yeah. We have a block of soap in there.
A block? You guys are sharing
just
a block
like
of
palm
soap?
olive. Just
are you
palm
fucking
olive,
kidding me? Your family shares a block? Don't tell me this is this real?
Yeah, we just have just
that's the reason why you're having to shower twice a day, because you're using a block with your whole family. TJ, do you not find that disgusting?
Mate, it's one block per bloke. It's not sharing the block. Absolutely
no wonder you're
not.
Comfortable wearing your dad's undies, because you're using the same soap.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Okay. Yeah,
Can we get some thoughts on the YouTube comments about 2 showers a day, yay or nay, and a block per family? Do you share the soap? And does Grace disagree with you using this?
Yeah, block? I think that the sharing of the soap thing, just use, I like, I think it's called goat's milk or whatever. It's a coconut sort of smell. It's very good. But I haven't used
Jordan's saying 2 times a day necessary.
Yeah.
Grind heaps.
So is Rain Man.
Showers.
Yeah.
Jesse says the family that shares the block together stays together.
Yeah.
2 showers is yay. More the better, says Grind Heaps. I mean, the thing
gets
I understand.
STIs, says Ryan.
There's a difference between sharing a Netflix account as a family and sharing a block of soap.
A block.
Larry Legit says showers are epic. Blocks can be shared. Just swish it around in your hands first. Are you swishing it around in your hands first, Sebs?
Yeah, I mean, you got to you use your trick with adding water and it really foams it up.
Okay. Lyndon
Glenn
says the stream can't end until Grace chimes in. Glenn says, I'm going to jump on Amazon and order Sev some body wash. What a treat. We could set up a little...
Grace has chimed
donation.
in. Yeah, not on. Don't share the block.
Hashtag don't share the block. Can we get that trending? Can you, as just a little bit of self-development, could you maybe move away from the block?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta get a pump then.
Yeah,
No, not a pump. What are you talking about? You just need liquid
pump.
soap.
Yeah, a pump.
Liquids. Yeah.
A pump bottle of soap. Liquid soap.
Pump bottle.
Have you used your Amazon gift card that we gave you last year or this year, Sebs?
No,
you get a whole bunch of of soap.
You also have the ones for signing up to that calendar service.
Yeah, no, I tried to redeem that. That was bullshit.
What do you mean?
It's got you.
I tried to redeem it. It's just said the code wasn't valid.
Oh, that's bullshit. Maybe it's for Amazon.com, but Grace is loving the idea of Glenn sending some soap. What about that one? How about we get some of the tingly stuff from Trader Joe's?
Tea tree tingle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was right.
I wonder if we could get any in Australia. Tea tree tingle.
Glenn could send it. Glenn could get it done.
It was a Trader Joe's item. Like, it was their home brand. So, anyway. Glenn said, like Tommy's pump? ? No, not like mine. Me got no pump no more. I think my dad threw it out. Actually, I'm going to call Dad today and ask him if he threw out my pump.
Okay, well, we need to work out. I like the idea of
currently unavailable.
The tea tree tingle. That was a really good product. Ryan Spencer says, hashtag don't share the block. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
No, Glenn, it's definitely worth checking out that the body wash. There was a really good YouTube doco. I think it's CNBC does really good documentaries of different businesses. And so it's like how Subway expanded and there was a whole one on Trader Joe's and how they pick products and their whole business, which was really interesting. Yeah, worth checking out. Anyway, it's a daily talk show. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Melbourne time, we're live streaming at thedailytalkshow.com/live. Otherwise, have a good one, guys.
See you tomorrow.